What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the We'll See You Later podcast, episode 43. I am your host, Jeremy. This is Willie Ray. This episode is brought to you by Happy's Energy and Nutrition, the best energy and nutrition on the planet. Also brought to you by Liberton Home Repairs, quality home repair services you can trust here out of Little Rock. Give them a call at 405-600-8363. Episode 43, we are going to talk, if you just watched the craziness that we just had, the perfect bracket for you guys that we have negative percentage of excitement about.
Right.
Now that we look back at it, we're like, what are we doing?
Perfect is complete satire. There's no way.
That's going to happen. I have no confidence that this is going to happen, but it's going to be a perfect bracket. All right. So just copy and paste that. If you haven't seen it, go back to the last video.
I'm of the belief that no one's ever had a perfect bracket, and anyone who says that they have is a dirty, no good liar.
100%. So now we're going to just talk Arkansas sports here. All right. You got our bracketology going up. We're done. Willie brackets. Jeremy knows nothings. And here we are going to speak solely on Arkansas basketball and baseball. And spoiler alert, Willie Ray, the new general manager.
Right. The athletic department as a whole.
So, Will, why don't you start us off with your Boston Celtic self? He has to be a little giddy about this.
I am a lifelong Boston Celtic fan. I was raised by a father that deified the Celtics of the 80s. Bird, McHale, Parrish, Dennis Johnson, Bill Walton on that 86 team. Imagine my surprise, because I've grown up and I had the KG, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce Celtics winning the title from the Lakers in 08. And then this past season with Tatum and Brown bringing home an 18th championship. Imagine my surprise when my beloved Arkansas Razorbacks have hired a general manager over the name, image, and likeness fund at the University of Arkansas. One Remy Cofield, who has spent the last 11 years as a member of the Boston Celtics organization. A Massachusetts native, no ties to the state of Arkansas,
which I love.
It makes me absolutely giddy. This was the exact opposite of what Arkansas would normally do in a situation like this.
Agreed.
The easy way for Arkansas to go traditionally would be just find one of our guys who understands what it's like to be here, whatever that means.
Houston nut.
And yeah, find us a Houston nut. Find us a, I heard some people say Raleigh Williams.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
right
I
now?
like that we disconnected.
Okay. Little background on Remy Cofield, and really all you need to know. Like, as I said, spent the last 11 years as a member of the Boston Celtics organization. 6 of those 11 years, he was the general manager for the Maine Celtics, which are the Boston Celtics affiliate in the G League. So, experience building a roster, which is what you need in this position. Experience divvying out money to that roster, which is what you need in this position. And most importantly, learn from probably the best general manager in professional sports today, Brad Stevens, former coach at Butler, former coach for the Celtics. Now he's the president of basketball operations.
It feels like this is a shifting and a turning of the tides. And if you look at it, guys, to me,
the last 5 years for Mr. Cofield were spent as the director of scouting for the Boston Celtics. So all this talent that the Celtics have accrued over the last 5 years, they've all been scouted by Remy Cofield. This feels out of pocket and off brand for Arkansas. It seems like Arkansas understood we've got to go get someone who has experience building a roster. I see some of our, simplest part of the fan base saying, obviously we're a basketball school because we went and hired a basketball guy. Look, guys, John Calipari's the basketball coach. He doesn't need any help building a roster. Not with 12 guys. Dave Van Horn doesn't need any help building a roster in baseball. They're top 5. He's done it for years. General managers are being hired around college sports for one sport and one sport only, and it's for college football, because you're having to put together an 85-man roster and divvy out NIL. What this does is, and we heard Sam Pittman talk about it in a press conference when it was brought up. What this does is take the onus off of the football coach. These players will no longer be going, I want more money, and Coach Pittman won't give it to me.
Nope.
It all comes down to go see the GM, and he'll tell you what he thinks you're worth.
It's a beautiful move. It's a football move. Even though basketball is his background, he knows talent. This is 100%. You need to take the stress off of your head coach, especially one that's on the hot seat. And you allow that he doesn't have to handle money. He doesn't have to handle his roster.
And
he doesn't have to handle that. This guy brings
It's just as important that a guy be young, that a guy be a good talker, that a guy be a good recruiter in this spot. Like, he's got to be dynamic and he's got to be engaging. And
it takes so much stress, I think, off of the coach.
Oh, my God. Sam Pittman never signed up to be a general manager of anything.
No.
Sam Pittman never signed up to decide who gets how much money. That's ridiculous to ask any coach to do that.
Yeah.
And feel like he's playing favorites throughout his players. There had to be, this is long overdue for all schools. I will give credit where credit is due. When Arkansas talked about going down this road, I wrote off that they were going to take the cheap route and just go kind of, for lack of better terms, a good old boy network and hire somebody and say, well, he's an Arkansas guy. He understands what it's like to be here. But he has no experience in the actual building of a roster, in the actual divvying out of money, creating a budget. This is huge.
Huge.
It made national sports news because everybody kind of stopped and did what I did was, what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just random. And Arkansas seems to be the first team to do it to this magnitude.
Yeah, you can kind of throw your hands up when a kid says they want more money and say, don't look at me, go talk to him.
Yeah. We're excited to see where this goes, but there's two sports happening right now. Basketball, Will, as we just did our bracket, even though I know this is crooked, by the way, I did that on purpose. Okay. My eyes are not on the same level. So
we're dancing, baby.
We're dancing. Okay. We're not going to go into depth of this whole run that we believe that we're making. Yeah, we got them in the Sweet 16. Kiss my ass about it. Yes, they're in there. I could have had them going farther. Will talk me off the ledge. We're dancing. We called that we were dancing weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? We just had to go 2-0 at the end of the season.
Did you pay attention to the negative Nancy's in this Arkansas fan base when it got down to the last bracket and our name hadn't been called yet? They were convinced we were about to get screwed.
Yeah, and they also, guys, I know that we're from Arkansas, and I know I'm not the smartest out there. You do realize that we were not the third to last team put in the tournament. That's just how they announced it. The last teams in the tournament, FYI, are the 8 teams that are doing the play-ins.
Yeah, those are
literally the last.
Those are the last teams in, and they announced those first.
They announce them first because their games are first, but that's the last team in. Just because it's a 10 seed in this last, they almost didn't make it.
All I have to say is there was never a doubt if there was a chance to be a Bill Self, John Calipari matchup in the first round, and then you're able to pair it up to where it's either going to be Pitino versus Self or Pitino versus Calipari in the second round, there was never a doubt that Arkansas was getting in. Enjoy the fact that you had the John Calipari factor. You are must-see TV because of your coach. He's
100%.
that polarizing.
If you, by logic, you think that Arkansas was the third to last team getting in, did you think that St. John's is the next to last team getting in? They're a 2 seed.
Sometimes,
what are we thinking?
Sometimes,
y'all,
Jeremy,
golly, Arkansas fans drive me nuts.
Sometimes you got to use your head for something besides a hat rack.
I'm telling you. And you know what I fell into this weekend too? I fell into, especially with the baseball side of things, I cannot go on social media when we lose a game.
They're unbelievable.
They're so stupid.
There's an actual phrase that goes around between the weaklings of the Arkansas fan base. They talk about battered hog syndrome. That is the weakest shit I've ever heard in my life.
It drives me insane.
That you just, I mean, let's just tell the truth. Some of y'all love when they lose. So you can get on social media and go, they suck. Yeah. You love doing it.
I want to go on record here because we did this. We said, yes, Arkansas is frustrating to watch in basketball. 100%. They're just as frustrated as we are playing it because of the talent level that we have. We have said it from the jump. To me, this was never in doubt. It was a much tougher road to get. That's all it was. All these losses that were happening, everybody says, so we're done, right? We're done. No, this team can put it together.
Let it
they
be
just got to win. They got to win 7 of 12. Like, they got to win these.
Now,
and guess what? They freaking did it.
Nobody wants to start 0-5 in the SEC. Let's not make a habit of doing that.
Not at all.
But it should tell you it doesn't make a shit.
No, it's so frustrating. From the jump, I was equally frustrated, and I'm like, dang, this season sucks. But to see this team not quit whenever their bodies are given out, their roster's constantly changing, the world is turning on them, they're laughing at them.
From just a purely coaching standpoint, keeping a team together, pushing all the right buttons, you cannot not give credit to John Calipari.
Not at all. You have to give him the flowers.
His biggest naysayers who say, well, he's not the greatest X's and O's guy. He's not the greatest. He's just a great recruiter. Kiss my ass. That's tired and lazy. That is a lazy take.
Well, for all you Hog fans that gave up on this team, I'll have you know, yes, we're a 10 seed, but Thursday, opening official big round of the tournament. Well, what time are we playing?
Prime time 6-10 matchup on CBS.
If we're nobody, Will, and we suck, how are we at
Enjoy
6-10?
the fact that you are the bad guy. You are the villain. You are the team that everybody roots against. You want to be that team that everybody says, they're a 10 seed. Why are they getting so much coverage? You want to know why? Because of the Paisan running things up there. You got to give him a lot. Come on now. Oh, we settle all family business in this thing. Big Blue Nation, you don't want him to get out of the first round and me come back on here. You don't want that to happen. And God forbid you slip up against Troy and they lock your ass up like they've locked everybody else up all year. God forbid Cal gets out of the first round and you guys don't, and I come back on here.
You just need to enjoy your spaghetti at 6:10 on Thursday, and you enjoy Arkansas whooping that Kansas Jayhawk ass.
Kansas, it's nothing personal. Gabriella sent me down here for the gabagool. It's nothing personal. It's just family business.
And if Arkansas doesn't beat Kansas, we're coming on here. We're fine with that.
Right.
I am 100% fine with
I'm
that.
okay with it. Here's the thing. You can't do one of these. You can't do one of these. Try to be successful and be afraid of looking like an idiot.
Yeah.
You can't. We had a semi-viral clip of me jumping out of my freaking skin, like shitting my pants on live air because the dumpster on the outside of this wall shut the lid loud as hell in the middle of our podcast, and I jumped out of my skin, and we posted that and everybody loved it.
That's true. That's true.
And I had one of my friends say, "Oh man, Jeremy, did you dirty posting that?" I told him to.
First of all, so
Yeah, if there's anybody that can get away with it, of course he did. We've been assholes to each other our entire lives. But I told him to.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not afraid to look like an idiot. Come at me, Big Blue Nation. Come at me. I'm that guy.
I love it. You can't shake us because we really don't care. I'm a fan that likes to talk some trash is what it is. But we do have on our bracket, if we believe truly that if Arkansas does get past Kansas, that they can get past St. John's. And I'm not hating on St. John's. We just we do out of the two seeds, we believe St. John's is the weakest.
Off air, we're somewhat sensible.
Yeah.
We talk about these things. And it's an honest opinion that whoever comes out of that 10-7 matchup is going to the Sweet 16.
Yes.
They're beating St. John's. No disrespect to St. John's. I just think they're the weakest of the two seeds by a long shot.
Yeah, I think they've had a great year. I think that their coach is top heavy on their seeding. They did, and everybody's going to lean on it, they did lose to Georgia early in the season, just like how Arkansas is not the same team. St. John's is a better team. But
they might be a better team, but that was maybe the biggest game on their schedule.
Yeah, and that's the part we have is Georgia was one of their biggest games, and Georgia wins by 3, and Georgia is a very lower end SEC school. I just don't, the comparison, I don't see them.
Don't let me come on here this time next week and Arkansas be in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Because I'm here to tell you, if he gets to the second weekend, after all this shit I've heard online, about how he's washed. Don't let it happen. Do not let the Hawks get hot. Don't let it happen.
It's going to be wild. And you don't want Willie the madman. We're going to put on there. If Will is correct here and Arkansas makes it to the Sweet 16, which is what we do believe, if they get through Kansas, St. John's to me is easier than Kansas. And I'm not hating on St. John's. I think they're great.
It just is what it is.
It's just
man.
the talent and the physicality. I think Kansas beats St. John's. So Willie's got to wear something crazy. We're just not going to tell him.
Or maybe nothing.
Or maybe nothing.
Maybe nothing.
Willie might wear
I'll show up nips out. I'm not even that worried about it.
Maybe he wears a tube sock and it's not on his feet. You know what I'm saying?
It's Willie. It's Willie after dark. Willie out, all the way out.
Anything else you done with that one?
I should be. Yeah. That
Okay.
should have been over a long time ago. Why didn't you stop me?
No, I'm letting it go. You got to go. So Boogie's back. Everybody's like, Boogie's you gonna mess this up. Mess up what? We're still
Here's
a
the
very
thing.
inconsistent team. The team that we're so high on, did you not notice at the Ole Miss game we were up 15 or 16 and went on a 10-minute run, no field goals? We're still that team with a 7-man roster. He's not messing up anything. You need another body.
You need another body. You need 5 more fouls is what you need. You need another pulse. You need somebody to have Nelly and DJ maybe sitting on the bench for 5 or 6 minutes and not with their tongues hanging out at the end of the game. It's an extra body.
The best part about it, too, is what better body do you want out there than a lottery pick?
Right.
That's what I'm looking at is
my
you can
favorite
get 10
thing,
to 15 minutes.
Go back and watch the press conference. Coach Cal talking about how this went down. And he says that Boogie told him, I don't want to mess up the chemistry that they have going. I just want to help. And Cal told him, that may mean that you only play 10 minutes. You might play more. I don't know. But that shows that, one, Boogie's a team guy, which I love. But that also shows that they understand he's been out for 2 months.
Yeah.
Don't mess up the chemistry, but you need another body.
Yeah. And I'm telling you guys, if he comes in off the bench with a Billy Richmond, that's just another firepower guy. And when we get in these 5 to 10 minute spells of we can't score, having Boogie out there can be huge.
Where he will create offense for Arkansas, he's your number 1 assist man.
Yep.
Does not turn the ball over.
Yep.
So that's more possessions than in baskets. Whether it's him scoring or somebody else that he set up.
Yes. Because if you look at when we're in those spells, Nelly, turnover machine.
Yeah.
Billy
tired
Richmond, Nelly.
DJ Wagner, turnover. A tired Brazil, a tired Nelly, a tired Billy Richmond, turnovers. If he comes back and Arkansas goes to the Sweet 16, he's a hero.
A hero.
He's a hero.
He has saved the program. Now we're going to hop over to the Diamond Hogs. Opening weekend, huge.
Opening weekend of SEC play.
Huge. Arkansas goes to number 13 Ole Miss, and it was a Omaha atmosphere.
We told you last
from
week.
The jump.
We told you last week, expect the unexpected. We told you last week, ride the wave of emotion. Apparently, none of you guys online listened. Because Arkansas, the unexpected happened on Friday. Arkansas's pitching staff looks like dog shit. They have bad luck. All right.
Where did this acting come from?
Truth be told, look, Zach Root was not bad. Or not as bad as what the final line said.
And stop. I'm sick and tired of hearing that our pitching sucks. That everybody talks so good about our pitching, they're lighting us up. We're strike throwers. And we don't have a Hagen Smith. We've talked about this a million times. Stop looking at our unicorns that we've had and expecting Dave Van Horn to have a rabbit out of a hat pitcher who's going to come in and is Randy Johnson. We don't have that.
There's different ways to get people out besides the strikeout. And guess what? The key phrase is weak contact. Zach Root got weak contact all day on Friday.
He did. And that's something that pisses me off is people jumping the gun. You look at his numbers, and of course, that's what people do. They go online and immediately start stat checking, right?
Yeah, you have to watch.
I do the same thing.
Here's a noble idea. You have to watch the game.
Actually watch the entire game. Zach Root goes 3 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs, right? You look at that and you're like, dang, they lit him up. You don't go look at that Justin Thomas dove for a ball 5 feet in front of him, which would have been a single, and nobody moving into scoring position, which ends up in. Did the run score off that as well?
Yeah.
A run scored double off of that.
He did it with 2 out.
Which changes the inning. Then we have a situation where they have a runner on first, and it's a hit and run situation. Runner steals, hits a blooper, and the wind blows the ball. Of course, our shortstop Aloy is covering second. The wind blows the ball over short. Our second baseman has to run
to the
60
shortstop
feet.
to the shortstop side of second.
Yeah, and our second baseman has to run and dive for it. When if that play's not happening, our shortstop, that's a routine catch. Like, you have to look at it was just bad luck on his behalf.
They had one bunt single that the guy literally couldn't have rolled down the third baseline any better than what he had. First of all, Ole Miss is really good.
Very good.
They don't need any breaks, but every break that they could have caught on Friday afternoon, every break that they could have caught on Friday, they caught. And you could hear it in Dave Van Horn's voice in the post-game press conference. He was mad.
Yeah,
He was frustrated.
There was an instance, runners on the corners with no outs or 1 out, ground ball hits our pitcher. If he catches it, runners out at home. If he misses it, we possibly have a double play, and it hits him, and he gets no play.
Like, and it just happens to kick off the heel of his glove and
shoot across, and nothing happens. Like, those things happen in baseball. Normally, not all of them happen in one moment. I'll say this, though. I'm glad they all happened in one game, because the next 2 games were phenomenal.
Yeah, and it carried on for 10 innings, because it carried on to the first inning of the next game.
Yes, it did.
Gabe Gackle strikes out the first Ole Miss hitter, and Ryder Helfrich just forgets to cover up the 5-hole, and you know, it goes through his legs like a hockey goalie, and what should be a 1 out, nobody on situation turns into
1 on, no outs.
Hit by pitch here, walk here, bloop single. You know, but the thing is, Arkansas won that game in the first inning when Gabe Gackle was able to get a double play and get out of that inning.
Yeah.
They won the game right there because, the first inning didn't go well, but it's 2-0.
Yeah. And then everybody again, Gackle just don't have his stuff. Watch the game. Let me look at the numbers. So Arkansas loses 10-6 game 1. They scored 4 runs really late to try to make a push. Got enough. So I
hate to tell you, folks, but 6 runs on a Friday is going to win probably every other Friday night game this 100%. Year.
You look at our we had 10 hits Friday night, 6 runs. Ole Miss has 14 hits, 10 runs. 4 more hits, 4 more runs. Like, it's pretty simple. Also, they hit the ball well. When they decided to square up a baseball, they had runners in scoring position.
Right.
When we squared up a baseball, nobody was on.
I think it was one of those things where, let's not forget, Friday night, the first 6 innings, Ole Miss got their leadoff guy on
every time.
And he scored.
That's so unheard of in baseball.
You got to get the leadoff guy out.
And not only get him out, he can't score.
You got to get the leadoff guy out. The most important out of the inning is the leadoff guy.
Right.
You can't get it. It's hard to get anything started with the leadoff guy out. This is going to go down as a blip on the radar.
Yes. Then Saturday, you guys were all freaking out. 2-0 in the first. Could have been worse. Gabe Gackle, you're going to look at his numbers. You're going to say he didn't have his best stuff. Gabe Gackle goes 4 innings. Ready for this? 1 hit, 2 runs.
8 Ks.
8 Ks. In 4 innings, guys. 4 innings.
I saw a really, really good pitcher battle through a first inning where he threw over 30 pitches. Yeah, he wasn't going to go deep after the first inning. He threw 30 pitches to get out of it.
That strikeout, the very first strikeout, if Ryder Helfrich smothers that ball and throws him out at first, that's a different inning.
Right.
That changes everything.
Yeah. So it
triggered that. The walk. It triggers, now he's got to think about it. Now it triggers a bloop single.
Yeah,
it's a domino effect.
And we've talked about it before. Gabe gets frustrated.
Yes, he does. He's young.
So
it's his first year starting.
So after, I feel like his wheels were already turning after that first out. I feel like
he was enough. He's like, what do I do here?
Damn it, I should have an out here.
Yes.
Damn it, I should have an out there. But let me tell you what he did. He limited the damage. And then settles in, gives you 4 solid innings, allows his offense to do what they do. These Hogs rake. These Hogs rake people.
Arkansas wins Saturday 12-3, never close once we got in that back half of that game.
Yeah, these Hogs rake.
What was this, one
I
inning?
think there was 8 runs in the 5th inning.
8 runs in the 5th off 9 hits, dominating. Hogs total 12 runs, 15 hits. Ole Miss 3 runs, 4 hits. This right here, the pitching. By the way, we talked about last week. Parker Coyle finally gets an ERA.
Oh, bless his heart. But it was a solo home run, so it's not much of one.
Yep. So he goes 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts for him. And then I don't know this guy. Can you please tell me who closed that game?
Aiden Jimenez. He's a transfer from Oregon State.
Stud team.
Yeah, he's just now over a year removed from Tommy John surgery.
I put in all caps here. Let me just give you what he did. The man went 3 innings, gave up 0 hits, 0 runs, and 6 strikeouts.
I feel like
I wrote dog.
everything you just said needs to be prefaced by what I just said. Just now, a year removed from Tommy John surgery.
That's insane.
For those of you guys that don't know, Tommy John surgery means you're replacing the unicollateral ligament in your arm. And that's an 18 months recovery minimum. This dude is back pitching in competitive games 12 months after. He's an absolute dog.
So Hogs win 12-3. Then Sunday come out in the rubber match. We're tied 1-1. Here we go. And again, so if we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. This one was the worst start for sure. But Landon Bottleshees comes out. 2 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. Doesn't look the greatest. It's home runs. It's 2 home runs is really all it was. And they're going to happen. First of all, the wind was gushing
what you don't
50 miles an hour out.
What you don't talk about is these 2 day games in Oxford. The difference in the Saturday game that ended up being, 2 and 3 runs was that the Saturday game was at 6 feet. These 2 day games in Oxford with the wind blowing out 20 miles an hour, it was set up for craziness.
For home run derbies.
And that's what we got.
You hit it up, it goes out.
It was set up. And here's the thing. I'm going to go back. Ole Miss is a really good team.
Oh, yeah.
This team doesn't have a lot of weaknesses other than what I saw. Their bullpen's they're not very deep.
Yeah. They weren't. Once their starters got out, we were fine.
Yeah, they're not very deep.
Will McIntyre comes in, Big Willie, goes for 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, saves us a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot needs to be said too. Is that remember, Arkansas sooner rather than later is going to get a little help with this rotation,
Massively.
and with Gage Wood coming back.
Yes.
And I think Bottleshees will quietly slide back into the bullpen and become another lefty that this bullpen really needs.
Yeah.
They need another left-hander because Colin Fisher, for the first time, I think, since he's pitched at Arkansas, didn't have his good stuff.
Yeah, that was weird. He was
it
Mr. Consistent and just didn't have it.
It was really weird, and baseball going to baseball. But here's the thing. Your Hogs went on the road against a top 15 team, fought back multiple times in game 3 with the series on the line. Chucky freaking Davil, Ahiva freaking Aloy, Logan freaking Maxwell, big Maxie guy.
Logan Maxwell.
I'm a big
We
Maxie
talk about
guy.
Logan Maxwell. Will has coined the phrase, and I love it, and that's why I've stolen it. Most professional hitter on the team.
Yeah.
The approach, the smoothness, the power, the composure.
The situational stuff.
Yes.
I feel like with Logan Maxwell, he sees the game and says, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that even if I make an out, it's a productive out?
Yes.
Logan Maxwell will be the guy who hits a ground ball to the right side when you got a runner on second and nobody out. Logan Maxwell, if you're in a situation where a sac fly drives in a run, he's going to hunt a pitch up and try to get it at least elevated. But what you forget about is he's also a beast. And I mean, there's legit. I cannot believe that this body that I'm watching hit 3 home runs all last year for TCU.
Unbelievable.
I cannot
He
believe
hit one,
that.
and when he looked at it, I'll say this. When it pops off his bat, it sounds different. Like Aloy, I love the Aloy brothers. Like, I am a massive fan. They swing so violently that it's either going a mile or it's not.
There's some swing and miss in there.
There is, and it's great because when the pop is stupid.
Nothing about their swings
It just doesn't look smooth.
Nothing about their swings look fluid.
No, they're just like they're big dudes. Ball thrown at me, I'm hitting it to the moon. Like that's it. Maxwell is, and same with like a Davalon. They situationally know what's going on and figure it out immediately.
Yeah.
They are the pass the baton guys.
I'll go back to, the ninth inning. Arkansas's down 1 run. Ole Miss has scored.
Let's set the tone a little bit. 4-0 early, Ole Miss. Arkansas 4-1. They're chipping away 4-3, then 5-4, then 8-4, and then Ole Miss ends up taking a lead. We have to battle.
You want me to encompass the weekend in one at bat. Ole Miss, 2 out, 1 on. Runners on first base. He hits a ground ball hits a ground ball through the 5.5 hole between
short
third and short.
Mm-hmm.
With an exit velo of, I don't know, 68 miles an hour.
It was the slowest ground ball that I've ever seen in my life.
Because the runner has started, he's just churning around the bases. It ends up being an RBI single with the runner scoring from first on a ground ball through the 6th hole.
It was
it was so frustrating.
You know what bothers me right now? And I see it more and more often in the game that we play. And this is the only rant that I will ever do really is arm strength doesn't matter anymore in the outfield. There are a lot of weak arms in the outfield.
Yeah.
Great athletes who can run, great athletes who can bunt, great base running athletes in the outfield. There is nobody. Like, I'm looking at a lot of teams. Rocco Pepe was in left field. He came in, and I understand he rotates. He's a utility guy. He scoops up that ball when the runner's on third.
There's a reason why he got sent.
He got sent home, and Rocco Pepe's throw, and I'm not hating on it. I'm just frustrated by it. His throw bounced 5 times before it got to Ryder Helfrich. He rolled it. He's bowling there. If there's a Dominic Fletcher out there, that mug's hosed before he's even starting to slide.
Okay. If Dominic Fletcher's out there, he doesn't try to score.
Right.
Like that's the thing is
we're losing arms out there.
I'm saying if it's a halfway decent arm out in the outfield, he's out.
By a mile. So that's what's frustrating me is weak arms in the outfield right now.
There's a reason why
I'm an outfielder.
Yeah, there's a reason why he got sent. Because they knew he's not going to throw him out.
Yeah, I don't know why the game's changed that way. There are still studs out there. Don't get me wrong, but there's not many.
Between that and the shift,
I hate the shift.
This series there was a bunch of overshifting by both teams. How many times you got to get bit in the ass by it before you quit doing it?
Yeah, I don't like weak arms from the outfield coming from an outfielder myself. But we're down 1.
Well,
2 outs, 2 outs, 2 on.
A lot needs to be said. Cam Colesville finding a way on.
Yeah,
Ryder Helfrich has to bunt. That was the biggest cluster, I've ever seen in my life.
I don't get this.
Just lay a bunt down, kid.
Not only just lay a bunt down. You've got when your runners are on first and second, and he knows this. He's a baseball guy. You've got to put that down the third base line. You've got to make the third baseman commit to that ball. You cannot, and if he doesn't commit, you have to make the first baseman run all the way over there. It's a sac bunt. The first baseman's crashing hard. Your runner can't move because if you pop it up, which you have done, it's a double play. The game's over. So the guy has to wait for the bunt to get down. You bunted it literally right at the first baseman who is crashing. The third baseman just trots to the bag. He's out before he's sliding. Situational bunting. I loved bunting. You've got to know where the ball has to go. It's not just about getting the bunt down.
Yeah,
it's about getting the bunt down in the right area. I'd rather you bunt it foul going third than bunt it straight to the first baseman.
And has anybody looked more uncomfortable
bunting a ball? No.
Yeah, he looked like he'd never done it before.
And I love Ryder. Like if I'm building a baseball player, that's what it looks like. But it's just I bunted like crazy. Ole Miss bunted phenomenally this weekend.
Well, you end up getting a break.
We got a break. The third baseman throws a high ball to first. There's a collision.
Which is what happens now that we have these 2 bags over there.
Yeah.
This is gonna continue to happen on a high throw. The first baseman's gonna get taken out.
But we end up getting spelled there. Runners on first and second with only 1 out. Then we get a strikeout from Nolan Souza.
Oof.
who I thought was starting to turn that around.
Oof. Can't strike out there.
And then
Chucky the dog. Gavilon.
he came up to the plate, Will,
Hunting a fast.
but he also came to the plate with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Hunting a fast.
If a guy walks up with 2 outs and 2 on and down a run with a smirk on his face,
It's over.
something is about to happen.
It's over. It's over.
First pitch.
He goes up hunting a fastball, Linya over first base, and drives in the winning. And, dude,
So drives
They-
in the tying run.
they were dejected immediately after
Yes.
that.
He drives in the tying run. Hogs tied 9-9. Runners on first and second. 2 down for the reigning weekly SEC Player of the Week. It's just, I think, starting to be a thing. Who, to be honest with you, his bat has not been great these last 15 at bats. He was going into that at bat. I think he was 2 for 13 or something, or 2 for 14.
The power has been there the whole time.
Yes, he just hasn't done anything but hit the bomb. And what did you do?
What you did was let him piss all over a ball off the outside corner, and all that was a line drive that snuck out.
Yeah, that wind tunnel we talked about.
Yeah, that's all that is a line drive that got into the bullpen. And buddy, if you go back and watch that replay, it sounds like we're in Fayetteville.
And they lost it.
You can hear that the dugout absolutely lost their minds.
It was absolutely insane.
You want to hear something hilarious? I read on social media that a Razorback fan that was at the game said that there were Ole Miss fans wanting unsportsmanlike conduct called on Arkansas for the way they acted in the dugout after the game. First of all, tell me you've never been to a baseball game without telling me you've never been to a baseball game. This dude had a beautiful response to such stupidity. Said he turned around and said, "Would you like free throws for that or a 15-yard penalty?" You morons.
Yeah.
God forbid a dugout be jacked up after a big home run.
A game-winning home run. Hogs end up going up 12-9, top 9. Bottom of the ninth, shut them down. Win the game 12-9. Moving forward to South Carolina, who did go 1-2 this weekend against number 12 Oklahoma. They are 16-5 overall. Lost game 1, 5-8. They won game 2, 11-5, and then they lost game 3. They were in a rubber match just like us, 6-5 in 10 innings.
Yeah, there will also be 2 midweek games this week with Oral Roberts on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
In Fayetteville. Obviously, what we're watching for Zach Root on Friday.
Yeah,
we got like right now all the bitching and moaning that you're doing about the way he pitched doesn't make much sense because right now it's just baseball being baseball. Let's not act like we don't need a bounce back performance here.
We do. Surprise, surprise. The SEC is full of hitters.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and say too, if you know anything about baseball, you'd rather get hit all over the yard than walk everybody. Now, do we get Gage Wood back this week, and is he right back into the rotation?
Yeah.
That's the question here.
Yeah.
I think Gage Wood coming back could fix these end of the game issues. Because to me, it's you either try and slide Bottle Cheese into that spot, or you keep Bottle Cheese in the rotation and you put Gage Wood in that spot because he's done it before.
Yeah.
I would personally like to see Gage Wood kind of ease back into the rotation, but just because that bullpen needs another left-handed arm.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think there's a wrong answer here because I think there are 3 good arms here that just have had subpar weekends.
Yeah, Van Horn, he's the smart one.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure if he goes left, right,
he's
left.
He's pretty smart, as of this weekend, 900 career wins at Arkansas.
Congrats.
And I love what he said afterwards.
Here's to another 900.
Here's to the next 900. I'm here for all of it, buddy.
Absolutely, I am too. So, picking Hogs here. Let's do a quick prediction. Sweeping? You picked a sweep last week. We went 2-1.
5-0 week. And you know what? 6-0 week counting basketball.
Okay.
6-0 week. Don't let me be sitting right here.
I'm going to go 5-1.
Actually, I said 6-0 week.
Sorry.
There's 2 basketball games, hopefully, if you win the first one. Don't let me be sitting here if we went 7-0. Don't let Arkansas get to the second weekend. And Kentucky, don't you do it.
Will's hot. And if you let him, if you let this eat.
Hey, Kentucky, whenever you lay your little heads down,
This Italian. Let me talk
on
to
your
you.
On your blue pillow at night. Just remember, before you start to overlook the Troy Trojans, your coach Mark Pope has just as many NCAA tournament wins as me and Jeremy here. He's never won a tournament game, and he's not gonna. All for one, the Trojans. Trojan man.
Will is hell-bent on the Trojans upsetting Kentucky. Hell-bent. It just has to happen.
I want that.
It just has to
I
happen.
want that almost as much as I want Arkansas to beat Kansas. I want that. And it's not because you live rent-free in my head. It's because you're morons.
Okay.
We live rent-free in your head, and I'm enjoying it because I was there when it flipped. When John Calipari set the world on fire this time last year, and it flipped because they said, we were going to fire him anyway, but he left you. He left you, and you're still not over it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I love the fact that I was here when Kentucky started to obsess over Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
The way Arkansas fans in my lifetime have always obsessed over Kentucky.
Yeah.
It switched, and I'm loving it. I'm reveling in it.
Loving every minute of it. I love that you think about us and we don't think about you. Except for Will. He's thinking about you right now because he just
Right. I don't care if it does. I don't care. I just love the fact that maybe some of you are watching this and you're thinking, damn,
he strikes a nerve.
he's kind of pissing me off.
Yeah, that's what we want. We just want a little bit.
He's
a little
kinda-
pissery is what we
He's
call it.
kind of making sense. And I hate that he makes sense.
And then you're going to comment something negative about us in the comments, and that's fantastic. We love that.
yeah,
It's
I
fantastic.
don't
And
care.
I'll banter back and forth.
I
with
don't
you.
care. Guess what? What are you going to say about me? I'm a skinny fat dude with cerebral palsy. That's fine. You may not love me, but your mother does. Your mother does. Tell her I'll be home later.
She calls Willie Big Blue Nation.
She calls me daddy, and I ain't got no kids.
Okay. We're done. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 43 of the We'll See You Later podcast. I am your host, Jeremy. This is your, I don't know if this is my co-host, Willie Ray, or if he's going to be canceled or something. I don't know if he comes back anymore. I don't know.
We'll see you later, man.
But 3 things to live by before you guys get out of here. Number 1, don't piss into the wind. Will does it on a daily, and I told him not
I've done
to.
it. I just did it here.
He's still sitting in his pee pants right now.
I'll scissor kick you in the back of the head is what I'll do.
Number 2, hogs by 90. And 3, and probably the most important, never, ever, ever trust a fart. And until next time, guys, hell, I don't know. We might see you later.